We're in Pueblo, and it's illegal to have fireworks. But look at this, this is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's surround sound. It doesn't stop. It's been going on for days. It's all around us. It's unreal. Hey, hi. We are planning our trip to Slovenia, and we're going to share with you what we're doing.
Yeah, so we have been looking at maps and guidebooks and websites and blogs and YouTube channels, trying to get
As much
all the
information
as we can get.
So Slovenia is a small country, 2 million people about. It borders Italy, Austria, Croatia, and Hungary.
It has 4 major cities. Ljubljana is the biggest city, but then there's 3 other pretty large cities. And then it's very agrarian. It's not an urban metropolis kind of place.
There's a lot of mountain ranges that we walk through. If we do the whole trail, every single one of them.
If you do, on the course of the trail, you walk over 30 mountain peaks. 30 over 350 miles. That's a lot.
It's a lot of elevation.
Yeah, it's about, what did we say? About 90,000 feet of elevation gain.
In 350 miles. It's a hut system. So you go hut to hut. So we're not camping. There's food at the hut, so we eat there. So that's why we're going lighter with our packs.
Yeah.
We'll carry a lunch and snacks or something like that. But you can even eat lunch in a hut, because even though you might walk from one hut to the next, there's some huts in between there that you run into during the day, and you can stop and eat lunch.
Because there's, what did we just say? 55
huts or something like that.
along the way. So,
and little towns that we'll stop in.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be
definitely different than hiking, especially in the western United States. I mean, in the western United States, when we hike, you go on a hike, you're out there. You're out there. You're just
right.
Kind of wild.
So this is one of the resources we are using. This couple they write a lot of these travel books. Here's a picture of the couple. Anyway, this is fabulous, and this has helped us a lot in making a plan. And it tells you a little bit about Slovenia and its geology and its history. It tells you about really specific to the hut-to-hut trip, like what you need and how to set up reservations in the hut. And some of them, they say bring cash, and some of them they don't always accept, all of that stuff, important stuff. They give you even terms like language and how to pronounce words in here that relates to the hut-to-hut trip, which I find just fabulous. The food that you order is in here, and they have it in English in Slovenia, so you know what you're ordering and how to pronounce it and how to say it. So this book has been fabulous, and they break the trip down into 12 stages, and they rate each day. They give you a map of that first stage, and they rate the stage, they rate the day, in anywhere from a 1 to a 3. 1 being easy, 3 being difficult.
We're not doing like big long miles. This is a pretty gentle multi-day approach to it. Like, what are we doing?
I don't know, but it's not a lot of. The days are shorter because it's steeper.
Yeah.
And stage 3 and stage 6 are the most difficult, and they have a lot of elevation gain, and they also have the via ferrata in those, where you're hooked to the cable. They have the cable and the hardware into the side of the mountain, and you're hooked with a cable, and you're climbing up over mountain peak or whatever. But they have some via ferrata sections in stage 3 and stage 6, and so a 5-mile day might take
8 hours.
8 hours because you're going slow. It's a different type of hiking. So this couple, we just followed what they did for the first 6 stages, and we made reservations for huts and towns in the first 6 stages. The 6th stage is Triglav National Park, which is really popular, so we wanted to get those reserved, and then after that we're going to kind of wing it and see how we feel. And it will be their month of August is their real busy time of travel and local hiking, and so we wanted to get reservations during that month. But then after the stage 6, the last 6 stages, we're just going to wing it and see how we feel, and kind of go from there. But this book gave us a website to go to, and all of the information's on there, and then all of the huts aren't listed on there. And we went down and found the huts we wanted to stay in. Some of them you could hit a button that said book now, and you could book it. You chose what you wanted. Easy.
A lot of them have an email address, and so we've been writing just a real basic email. You know, we want to reserve 2 beds.
Yep.
And we want half board.
Yep.
For, you know,
this night.
And
then they email us back.
We were just reading. We're trying to figure out how many, you know, what the language thing is going to be like, because, you know, you always like to be respectful in a country and speak some basic phrases, words, but in Slovenia, you know, you're not going to know that language unless you're from that area, because it's not a widely learned language, right?
They speak the Slovene language.
But we were just reading that about 60% of adults there speak English as their second language. So that's more than I thought. I thought it was only like a third. So that's really good.
Yep. And so we want to be able to do the best we can to use their language the best we can. So this book has been helpful with that. And then I've had to look up there, you know, we do Duolingo with Spanish and stuff. Like Slovene is not on there, but there's some YouTube videos. It's a hard language. Oh my God. But you know, if we get a few words, we want to make sure we do that. But anyway,
you want to be able to say hello, and you want to be able to say thank you.
But even that website, you can hit a button up there and it goes into English. When they wrote us back, you know, a lot of them have written us back. We're pretty much done. There's a couple of huts being worked on, so we don't know if we could stay there or not till the last minute when we get there. We'll check and see the status of that. And but they're great. They've been great. And the other thing that this, so we could join an Alpine club, a Slovene Alpine club. We were recommended.
Here's our little card.
Here's Nettie's card. It's so cool.
And you use this card. You buy this card, which we used our Buy Me a Coffee funds to buy it, because it's a cool thing, and it helps them continue their. They have a very progressive green agenda for their trail and their national park, that they are trying to, you know, preserve their natural spaces.
So the money they make from these memberships go to help maintain their trails and huts and the, you know, eco-friendly practices and all of that. So it was about 39 euros a piece for that. And we used the coffee fund because we thought, you guys are giving us trail magic, and this is a double whammy trail magic. It benefits us because we get discounts in the hut. Right. And then the money they get goes to helping them maintain.
And it's also good. It also helps pay for their search and rescue there.
Yeah.
And search and rescue is, you know, kind of an unsung hero everywhere in our country, and I'm sure in theirs. It's a really important piece to have. You know, to know that you have that piece out there. So we're glad to help support that.
Yeah. So once we got that card, we haven't had to do anything with that. When we show up, we'll show them that card, because right now you just make the reservations. But we got the card, we got the reservations, we learned how to use the website. All of that took a little bit of time. So now we're pretty much, we fly into Ljubljana, which is the biggest city. We'll take public transportation. We'll stay there a couple of nights, and you know, Slovenia is very outdoorsy, so they have great stores, like outdoor stores, so if you need anything. And then we'll spend a couple of days in Ljubljana, and then we'll take public transportation up to Maribor. And Maribor is where we'll spend a night there, and then we'll start our trek.
And they have this trail is kind of like a pilgrimage in that you can get a little passport, and they have stamps at the different locations.
And this book tells you every little place that you can get a stamp.
So
which
we're
is
going to
good.
try and find a little ink pad, because they set off and the ink is dried up. But you know, that would be kind of fun, you know, for our memory as we're looking back at
It'll
it
be
and talking
fun.
about it.
It'll be like a little treasure hunt, finding all the little
Yeah,
stamps.
we're on the treasure hunt.
But anyway, so it starts in Maribor, then it makes its way down, and we end at the Adriatic Sea, which is near the Croatia border, at that one little part down there where we finish. And so that's cool, because we might walk into Croatia too on the Croatia long distance trail, but that's another thing. But so anyway, right now we feel like we have a pretty good sense of how the huts work. You can get, like Annette said, half board when you make a reservation, which is breakfast and breakfast and dinner. You could get lunch. We read where you can ask for a sandwich to take with you, or you could just stop at a hut along the way if there's one for lunch. There's a lot. The public transportation is amazing. So when you get into town, at any point, you could take a train back to Ljubljana. Because it's such a small country.
And supposedly, from what we're reading, they have a really good bus system.
Yeah. So
you can get from place to place. We'll find out, right? It's always like when your feet are on the ground and you're trying to make your connections and do all that, that's, you know, might be... We'll find out.
The biggest thing, and I think this is important too, but, you know, we made reservations, which we don't like to do, but we kind of had to in this first part. But if it's raining or something like that, it can mess you up. If it's a really bad storm day and things like that, can mess up your reservation, because you have to kind of stay day to day on that. But there are some outs on the trail. So you might be going along and the weather's bad. You could take another trail down. You can go a lower route, and you can. So there's other options like that we found out about, and we'll learn more about as we go. So
yeah, it would be fun to see if we can get some travel fluency for doing some of these kinds of hikes, because we'd like to do some in some different countries. So this will be good practice ground for us.
And they give you, like, if you have an emergency, who you call, you know, what number I mean, all of that kind of stuff that, you know, you need to know. You're in a different country. It works different. So this book has been fabulous. The other thing I got this Slovene paper map, and I kind of marked on here where we're going to be, and then we got 2 online maps that we're using. So the Slovene mountain trail is not on Far Out. The Croatia long distance trail is, and I got a piece of that trail on Far Out, but Slovenia is not on that.
And Far Out is our electronic mapping app that we used on the Appalachian Trail and the Continental Divide Trail and Pacific Crest Trail.
And a lot of European trails are on there, but not the Slovene trail.
Right. So it's the advantage of using it, of course, an electronic map, is that you have your little blue dot where you are, and you can say, oh, I'm east of I need to walk a few meters back this way to get back to the trail. It gives you that confidence of, I'm not just lost in the middle of
You can see right where you are, where your blue dot is.
And I'm sure you've all done mountain hiking, and you get to a point where you can either go down to the right and you go in this drainage, or you go this way and you'll go in a separate drainage. And if you get in the wrong drainage on a trail,
it's bad.
It's bad. You know, you can be way off. So it's really always good to have an electronic map.
So the electronic map that we're using is called Hiker. It's HIIKER.
And they have
I bought the Slovene Mountain Trail. And so it shows up like Far Out, and that it shows water sources, places to stay, towns. You could click on them. I mean, it's similar. So we're going to use that. And then I also downloaded Maps.me, and I put in waypoints at the different huts that we're staying, just to have one more online map
as a
backup. So I think we'll be okay with that. It works on satellite. We should be fine on those online maps.
And some of the people on the blogs have said, you know, take a picture of the signboard when you get somewhere, so that you have that section, a picture of that section of that, because there's a whole bunch of trails that aren't necessarily the one that's continuing on that you're on. They're shooting out all over, so you know, kind of get an idea of what's available.
And then, you know, we got our adapters. We're looking at, you know, I'm trying this different one, but, you know, so that we can charge our phone. There'll be Wi-Fi in places, and we'll rely on that to, you know, do videos or whatever we can do. But to keep our, you know, the huts will be able to charge our stuff.
It'll be a huge learning opportunity for us, you know, big learning.
Gosh, you guys.
We're excited about it, you know. It's good for us.
I'm so excited.
Good for us to not just do the regular thing that you know, like long distance hiking, you know, when you're going out and you're getting on a trail, there's kind of now for us like a groove. You know, we know what to pack and we know how to start and how to get going and all that, but this is different.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome, and I can't wait to see it, the beauty, but I can't wait to meet the people. Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
it's gonna be so fun.
And they have like ibex, like goat, sheep things on the. I'm looking forward to seeing those.
I just can't wait. I can't wait.
I don't think they're called ibex or something else. Oh well, we'll let you know.
But one thing we try to prep too is we try to really represent ourselves well when we go to another country. And what I mean is that people live differently and have different energy on how they live. Even when we went over to Canada, when we crossed the border to Canada, we were like, wow, this is a different energy field over here. They're just more laid back or
less laid back
or less laid back, something. But
yeah.
slow pace, well, we're just like, high energy. I think in the USA, we just go. People are different and you live differently, and you I think sometimes Americans are seen as arrogant, loud, rude, and not that that's not true, but I don't think that that's always the case either. I think we're all different. So when we go somewhere, we like to kind of be respectful of the language and try to learn at least a few things. It's embarrassing sometimes, but to try to use a language that you're just like have no clue. But I think it's like kind of just showing like we're here, we feel grateful to be here and to be with you and to learn about you. We try to look at it as a learning experience, that we step back and really kind of pay attention, get a feel, try to blend in, and totally open ourselves to learning. And that's kind of the approach that we want to take. And you kind of have to mentally work that, because you get so used to how you live, you just go over and start just living the way just acting like you always act. And I'll give you a story. When we went in 2011, we went to Vienna. We rode our bikes from Passau, Germany to Vienna, Austria on a 10-day bike ride, one of the most amazing trips we've ever done. And we get there first day, we get our bikes, we pick up our stuff. We're self-guided, but we had a company that set us up. And we are happy to be there. Oh my God. And we get on our bikes.
First day.
And
got our little bells.
And we got our bells, and we're going down a little bike lane on the road, and we're woo, and we're saying hello, hello, just because we say hi to everybody. I saw people kind of looking at us, but at one point, the bike lane kind of ends, and we just pop up on the sidewalk, and just like you do here, the trail ends, something's in the way, you get on the sidewalk, you go across, you find the bike lane over there, you go. You don't think about it. We're up on the sidewalk, just happy. And all of a sudden, this woman, red-faced, yelling at us at the top of her lungs. And of course, we couldn't understand her, but then we did, finally. I don't know. She's pointing. And, well, we weren't supposed to be up on that sidewalk. Yeah, it was rude.
We had missed a connection there to stay on the bike path.
And the thing is, we looked like just rude Americans, right? Just up there doing our thing. And we didn't mean to. We were like celebrating the people. We were like so happy. But we're not in America. Just because we do that here, we bump up on a sidewalk, go across. I mean, you know what I mean?
We get ourselves in trouble here by...
But some of that stuff is just allowed. You don't think about it. It's just a norm. You're just like, you're making your way. And so at that point, we said, we need to step back, learn to read a sign. I mean, my gosh, you got to learn to read the sign. And it's different. You don't just live like we've been living. It's different. And so that was a lesson for us. But so this time we're preparing ahead of time. Like, let's step back and kind of pay attention. I think it's important. You're over there, you want to connect with people. And you want to connect with how things are done. And fit in.
Be respectful.
And I want people to know how grateful we really, truly are to be there and to meet people and to see a whole another country. I mean, we're grateful. We feel lucky. So we want to make sure that we're ready for that, and we bring our best selves in there. So anyway, that's kind of our plan. What else, Annette? Anything else that we have? We already showed you our gear. We're good there. Somebody asked us, how are you going to have your coffee and tea when you have it at the huts?
Yeah, we'll have to... we don't know. There might be an opportunity to do a little bit of camping in Slovenia. but we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
So it says in some places they don't allow camping, and then some places it says just in the national park, and then we watch a YouTube video and people are camping.
Camping everywhere.
So we have our tent. Our plan is to do huts, but if something happens to us where we're caught somewhere and we can't get to a hut or we get lost, we're going to camp if we have to. And I think they're okay with that if it's an emergency. So, or, you know, some of these huts might be closed. You might have to.
It's so much fun to do something that you don't know anything about.
Totally
I
don't
mean,
know.
it's kind of scary, but it's also just fun.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, I think the difference between doing perhaps when you do a guided tour where all your days are planned and you do this, or this, you know, I mean, I think that would be really fun, and I'm sure you learn a lot and get to see a lot of cool things. So this is a little different because you really don't know how each day is going to pan out, or, you know,
and we're doing it ourselves.
How's it going to end? Yeah,
we're just going to be out there just floundering around figuring it out. But, you know, and then the other part is then once we finish in Slovenia, we will spend some time in Croatia and Italy, and we're winging that. And I don't know if we're going to do the Dolomites because you need more of a reservation, I think, because they're so busy, and we just can't do that because we don't know when we're going to be there. So we might do part of the Croatian long distance trail on that coast there for a little bit, go over and then hike part of the Camino Francigena, Lucca to Rome or something like that. We fly out of Rome, so we're going to be there for 3 months in Europe. So we're going to be doing some other things too. And you know what? If something happens where we might change our mind totally. We're making a plan, but we're going to be totally flexible and go with what we feel. So we're taking you guys with us.
Yeah, exactly.
We're taking you with us, and we'll just let you know what we're doing along the way. It's going to be fun.
And I think this is good to do as, you know, as you're older, just like go out there and take some risks. What the heck?
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to figure it out. You're not going to end up just like, you know, nothing horrible will happen. You might have some hard days, or you might be confused, or you might be like,
make a fool of yourself.
You know, but it's kind of exciting to just say, yeah, we're just going to try and like put this together on the fly and do it. I mean, not that we haven't done our prep work. We have, but, you know, to still just like, yeah, let's go try this thing.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. All right, so we still have some time before we go. We're going to keep training. We miss connecting with you guys. We haven't done a lot of videos because we're just doing some other stuff, and it's been a little crazy. But we'll let you know when it gets closer and what's happening. And we might take you on a little hike. At the end of this video, I'm going to take you guys up the incline and up to Bar Camp. So you can go for a hike with us.
Good.
And then we're going to spend a little bit of time in Keystone, and we're going to hike some mountains there. So we'll take you with us when we get there too.
We have so much enjoyed our local hikes, doing that, and we've enjoyed just
it's been fun. We've been riding our
bikes, and
it's so hot right now in Pueblo. It's like
gosh,
close to
it's so hot.
It's like close to 100. You can see how red my face is. I'm sitting here burning up right now. But today was a little bit cooler, but it's just been, you have to get up really early and get going, and then you're just kind of like, you can hardly, it's unbearable to go outside. But all right, we're gonna get off here talking too much, so we'll check in later. All right, bye. Get out there.
I'm telling you.
There's Susie. Top of the incline.
She just finished the incline with about 30 pounds on her back.
It's hard.
You'll have to edit this out. And there's Carolyn. We all made it.
We did make it. Yee, we're at the top.
On this one.
Thank you so much.
Top of the incline. Came all the way up there. Yep, yep. There's Pikes Peak. Hey. We just did the incline with our packs, and we're gonna hike on up. We're on Bar Trail now. We're gonna hike up to Bar Camp.
We're going to experimental forest here.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. All right. Hey,
I tell you, that kicked my butt.
luckily, we've been gifted with some cloud cover.
Yeah.
Because it was a sweat fest.
That was really hard doing the incline.
Sweat was pouring down my face, dripping off my nose.
It's hard carrying weight. It's hard to do that incline anyway, but carrying weight was hard.
Yeah, noticeably different.
Carolyn and Susie were with us up the incline, then they went back. We're going to go on up. So anyway, we're taking you with us.
See if we can make it up to bar camp.
Sucking air. All right. Check in later. Bar camp, 10,200 feet. Here we are. Nice day. We're gonna sit out here. Okay, heading down. There's Annette coming down off the trailer, working on putting the new skylight in. Has her headlamp on.
It's too hot. You can't work on it when the sun's out because it's just blinding hot, bright up here.
It's too hot in the day in the sun, but the mosquitoes are eating us alive now. I just got bit by one.
This thing fits like a shoebox lid.
Yeah. There's the skylight. Yippee! Look at that beauty.
And then instead of having 2 layers on the inside, it has 3. And then it secures from the side instead of from the top.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a pretty fancy unit right there.
We have a cloudy day, which is nice.
It's a miracle.